Hey everybody, let's talk lighting today. I have a awesome little lighting kit here that I think you're gonna like. Let's talk more about that. But first, my name is Doug Fahl and this is Augmented Actor, where we help you augment your acting career with tips, tactics, and tech. Today, it's all about the tech and the gear. So we're looking at this lighting kit from GVM, that stands for Great Video Maker, and it is a 2 LED panel light kit. Each of these are full color LED panels, and they also can just provide warm and cool light, 3200K to 5600K lighting. This kit is going to be useful for anybody out there who needs some color in their lighting. I own a Crafty softbox lighting kit, which I've reviewed previously, and that is great for just sort of general fills and, you know, putting lots of light and getting rid of the shadows around you. But it doesn't have any color, and they are also not dimmable. These are dimmable and they have full color spectrum. So you might be wondering how you might use these lights or why you would need them. If you are an actor, you are probably being called upon to do more self-tape auditions from home these days. Whether you're in film, and with the pandemic, even theaters are auditioning at home and even rehearsing. Also, increasingly, actors are doing Zoom calls, Zoom performances, and rehearsals. Now, if you're not an actor, perhaps you're a photographer. These can be used for photography lighting to give a little bit of extra splash of color or color on your face. And if not, you can even just use these as mood lights. They make excellent party lights. They can light up a background in a shot, or you can just put them around your living room to spice up your environment. And they also are portable, very portable, so you can take them on the road if you're shooting things outside. Now let's talk about what each kit includes. So each kit has a light panel, and it has 192 LED light beads. Now 64 of those beads are RGB beads, meaning they are red, green, blue, and they can basically have a combination of any colors on the visible spectrum. You also have 64 3200K light beads, which gives you that warmer, glowy morning kind of look. There's also 64 beads that are in the 5200K spectrum, which gives you that cool, bright white light. Each light kit comes with a diffuser screen, which slides right into the front of the panel. And each kit has a tripod. Now these tripods are mini tripods. They're only about 6 inches tall, but they are flexible. You can rotate them in any direction. You can tighten them down with a tightening ring around the middle. And if the tripods are too small for you, you can mount these lights on most any tripod. Each kit comes with a battery pack and a separate battery charger. And you also get 2 felt carrying cases to pack your equipment around in. Now the box, I think, is nicer than the carrying bags. There's little compartments for it, and you can fit everything in there nice and compact, and just stack these up in your bin or your backpack or wherever you want. So these are very portable. This set retails for around $130, and I do have links to this kit down below, and any of the other equipment that I mentioned in this video is also linked down below, so make sure you check those out. These are awesome lights. I highly recommend them, especially if you want some color and pop in your video, but watch a little later because there are a few cons that I'd like to point out. Not too many, but there are a few. Now on the back of each lighting panel, you have a power switch. You have an LCD screen where you can see the battery life that's left, and you can also see what setting you're on. You have 2 dials. The first dial is to adjust the brightness of your lights. Then the second dial is where you control the hue and the saturation and the spectrum of the lights. When you first turn the lights on, they will be in CCT mode. I'm not quite sure what CCT mode means, but it's basically the setting where when you turn this dial, you will move between the cooler end of the spectrum and the warmer end of the spectrum, and anywhere in between. If you click the button again, you will enter into the Hue Mode. This is where you get your color, and you can adjust the color to pretty much any color: red, green, blue, orange, yellow, purple, and you can't get black, but you could shut the lights off for black. Now, one thing that I noticed is one day I felt like my lights weren't working because they were just sort of turning white, and I realized that there is a third mode. If you click the button a third time, you go into saturation mode, which basically desaturates your color, and it does it rather quickly. So like right as you turn the dial, it goes from full color to almost white. But that's what the LED panel looks like. When you're actually seeing it in a shot, you can actually pick up a little bit of that desaturated color. So don't worry if you get stuck and your light doesn't seem to be working. Just click that button again until you go into another mode. And another great thing about these lights is that they come with an app that you can download to your iPhone or Android phone. And this app will allow you to remotely control your lights with just the app. You can turn them on and off, adjust the color, the brightness, the hue, the saturation, all that stuff that I've mentioned before. So what can you do with these lights? Well, because you have two of them, that gives you a lot of color options. You can do that sort of red-blue photography effect that is very popular right now. Or you can do any other two colors on either side of your face. You can use them in your background to sort of give you a pop of color on a white wall to make it look more dynamic in your shot. And you can just use them for general lighting to fill in an area of your face, to give you a rim lighting by hanging it up above and shining it down on the back of your head. Or you can light your hair by putting it behind your head, facing forward toward the camera. It gives you a nice halo effect. Now, what are some of the caveats of this thing, the cons, the bad things about this? Well, there aren't too many, but one thing I will notice is that the battery life is not so great. 2 hours is kind of, that's kind of it. Now, you do have a battery indicator on the back of the light, but they don't dim, they don't give you any beeping, flashing lights, they just sort of go dead suddenly in the middle of a shoot. And then you're forced to charge them, and the charge takes about 4 hours. So I would recommend when you're on a shoot that you either have a backup battery pack fully charged, or that you get the AC adapter so you can just plug them into a wall and then you can use them all day. And I have links to those products down below. Now, the carrying cases are made out of felt. Things do fit in there and you can use them as carrying cases. They're kind of convenient, but I much prefer using the box. The carrying cases are a nice addition, but they're not really necessary. Now, if you have other lighting already, like a softbox lighting kit or a ring light or something like that, and that's what you use for your main source of light, then these lights are not gonna give you much power. They're super bright. When you look at them, you're not supposed to look right at them because they will blind you, but they can give you that little bit of fill of color or a little bit of rim light. But if you're using other lights, they're kind of dim if you were to put them in the background or to try to accentuate. So if you're doing real color effects on your face, or you want to do real mood lighting, then I recommend just using these lights and then using your bigger lights as far away kind of general fills so that you can see the color. And then the other only thing, the app that comes with it is a little bit tricky to hook up to your lights, and it's a little buggy. I mean, once it's hooked up, it's great, but it took me a few tries to figure out how to. You have to connect to a Wi-Fi via Bluetooth. These each have a Wi-Fi signal in them, and then you have to set up the light and name the second light and name it something else, and then connect to it. And I found that was a little bit weird to figure out using their instructions, but once you figure it out, it's not that hard, but once you figure it out, then the lights connect pretty easily. You don't even need a Wi-Fi signal in your house. You just need to have the Bluetooth connectivity. So your phone or device needs to be near-ish to the lights in order to connect to them. Well, I hope that's good. I don't want to take up too much of your time. If you're an actor, you don't really need these lights, but they do come in handy, very, very handy. And especially in this day of Zoom readings and Zoom chats, it's really great to be able to just say, hey, I can look good on camera. Hey, I can add a spark of color to my face. So make sure that you check these out if that is something that interests you. And thank you for joining me today. There's some more videos on your screen right now that you might be interested in. Check them out, and we'll talk to you next time.